तौ संतोषयता संतौ श्रीलरूप सनातन दाक्षिणात्येन भट्टेन पुनरेतद्विविच्यते तस्याद्यं ग्रन्थनालेकं क्रान्तव्युत्क्रान्तखण्डितम् पर्यालोच्यत पर्यायं कृत्वा लिखति जीवकः. हरे कृष्णा, वेलकम. सो क्या करेंगे अभी? व्हाट शैल वी डू नाउ? आ गए सब? ये सब आ गए क्या? व्हाइट बोर्ड्स सभी अपलोड हो गए उसमें? एक ही म्यूजिक, ऐसा म्यूजिक भी चलते रहे, क्लास भी चलते रहे, कैसा रहेगा? बैकग्राउंड में म्यूजिक चले जैसे कथाकार लोग करते हैं, उधर कोने में एक लाइट म्यूजिक चले, लाइट साउंड, तो सब लोग सात्विक मोड में रहेंगे. हाँ? अपलोड हो गए क्या? 2 अपलोड हुआ. कितना अच्छा लग रहा है ना? ओके. तब मैं भी एकदम धीरे से बोलूंगा, म्यूजिक भी रहेगा साथ में. छोड़ दो. So Hare Krishna. So we'll finish today 5 anucchedas and we'll keep our promise. That's 140 at least this by the end of this month. Okay. So what we discussed yesterday? Who is going to tell? Online, on site? Yeah, चला रहे रखो. So क्या online? Who is there online? हाँ, ठीक है, बाद में रख दो उसका, छोड़ दो. Akshay Hari Prabhu is leading. Yes, we want Akshay Hari Prabhu to say something. Yes, Prabhu. Unmute it. Unmute.
Yes, sorry. So there were two doubts or two doubts created by a person.
Of what is opponent is okay. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
The second one was that the
Doubt ne objections.
Objections were raised by opposition person. He said that these senses are product of gunas.
Yes.
I mean, by these senses we get knowledge and do action.
Yeah. Knowledge and actions are raised by these senses, are produced by these senses, and where senses are gunas, made up of gunas. So that's why anything is coming or arising due to those senses, by those senses, should be also saguna.
Saguna. So this bhakti is also saguna. That was
knowledge and
objection.
Actions both are saguna. Intention of the Purapakshi raising this, he's not saying directly bhakti is saguna, but he's raising this point. Kriya Shakti and Gnana Shakti are saguna because they are produced by the senses which are gunas. Intention is that. That means ultimately he wants to achieve that your bhakti is also saguna. But where we proved, where we stated bhakti is nirguna, but he wants to, Disprove that. Okay.
Yes.
Next.
We proved it in 3 steps. The first steps that these Shaktis, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti, doesn't belong to
Yeah.
Gunas.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we gave the example of pot. If these Shaktis are product of Gunas, modes, material nature, material things, then the pot would be able to acquire knowledge and able to act.
Yes.
That was the first logic, that it doesn't belong to material things.
Yes, Prabhu. Very good.
The second we gave, so does it belong to Jiva? No, it doesn't belong to Jiva also, because Jiva is not independent. It is dependent on one Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes.
So whom does it belong? So it belongs to Lord only, and we said it belongs to Paramatma.
Like example, like example, some servant is there. So he is fully dependent on his master. And anything, that means he's having this some gold ring in his ears, which is given by his master. Even he is having, but actually it belongs to whom? Ultimately, his master only, na?
Master only.
Yeah, because that servant is completely under his master. So that means what? I mean, even if apparently it looks his, but it is belonging to the master only. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why Jivatma is also not the owner of this Gnana
These two
Shakti.
Shaktis.
Yes.
Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti. So then we said that by the through Shruti Praman and the Praman, we
Yeah.
establish.
So remaining is what? So only is Parameshwara. Paramatma is remaining. Because you take this body. This body is comprised of 24 elements, Jivatma and Paramatma. These many only are there na, in this body. So by this in this body, we are seeing the production of so many actions, knowledge, everything we are seeing. So that means this knowledge and these actions are belonging to whom? That is the, so it's not belong to body, it's not belong to the Jivatma. Then these are all belonging to only one remaining thing, that is Paramatma. Yes. Yes.
Then we gave three Shastric proof, right?
Yes. Yes.
And Shastric proof were one from 6th canto from
Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. 6:16:24.
6:16:24.
देहेन्द्रिय प्राणमनोदियो मे यदंश विद्या प्रचरन्ति कर्मसु. This also next from the Shruti. Pranasya pranam uta. Yes. Pranasya pranamuta chakshurcha chakshur uta. Srotrasya srotram manaso manaha. This is from the Rigveda. Sorry, Shruti. From the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Also Rigveda is saying Narite tat kriyate kinchanare. So this many times we say bhakti is nirguna, but how systematically establishing this also. Many people actually, if you digest this knowledge and if you bring to the day-to-day life, and if you make this is a common usage, then it will be nice actually. This, because whole society in the gross ignorance, so that's why these discussions looks very deep and very difficult. But if you see mobile in that app store and Play Store, downloading, uploading, and after that, so data exchange, this, that groups, these words all looks very easy. But when you say Paramatma, Jivatma, body, and this Kriya Shakti, Gnana Shakti, this looks very difficult. Why? But in this, so many complex things. So you will be saying that this network is not there, signal and Wi-Fi, connecting Wi-Fi. These are all becoming very easy. What is there? It's a matter of culture around to you. If everyone is speaking and you are becoming familiar with those. But now bhakti nobody is discussing. That's why it's looking very difficult and also feeling sleepy. But actually, material knowledge is very difficult actually compared to spiritual knowledge. Even if they are more complex, if you go and see this science in the programming, coding, it's a complex mobile when they are making so many complex concepts are there in this. Those concepts people are practicing and their children are studying 10 years, 15 years, preparing and so pushing this society towards more and more complex and so scientific era, scientific way of lifestyle, science, because everyone is that means realized that this is important for the life. But bhakti concepts, little bit, what is this? It's very simple, and this is becoming difficult. Oh, what a difficult concept. That Rangmay Prabhu should know that. Hmm. Yes.
Because this knowledge is difficult.
Mike.
Yes, Prabhu, because this devotional knowledge is difficult. That's one cause. When we connect with devotional life, that time no information, any offensive, any obstacles, just only advise us, you chant and you go Golok Vrindavan. There is no problem. But after few years later, after sometimes when we go enter into the more, that time, this is Nirguna, this is Shaguna, this is Tamashik, this is Asashik. Hey, offense, hey, more eating, more sleeping. So many fear is there. But material is no fear. Oh, Facebook, no problem. Eh? Like, dislike, girlfriend, no problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no problem. More eating, no problem. There are so many hospitals. You go on, carry on.
Yes.
Carry on.
Yes.
But here, so many fear.
So much fear.
Like, Namapurad, Namapurad, Vaishnapurad, Apurad, Apurad. No simplicity is there. No eat paneer. No. So maybe that's why this knowledge is very critical. But there is no critical. There is simple knowledge. But apply, when it will be applied, na, that time it is. Now 3 or 4 days I will chant. When I am chanting, that time I am feeling it is tamasic job. It is rajasic job. What is job this is? but before 1 week, I am freely job or chanting only for Lord.
I like that we think, but ignorance is a bliss. As much as till that time, so you don't know the reality, you'll be in the ignorance and you'll becoming thinking that, oh, I'm doing pure devotional service and I'm so happy. Like you see that that goat is not knowing that his head will be cut in the next half an hour, but it is eating grass and thinking that I'm so wonderful. I'm I'm living my life so nicely. But what is the fact? That means butcher is giving so much feed to it. Nicely it is feeding and he's decorating and putting tilak and dancing. And the goat is thinking that, oh, everyone is encouraging me, praising me. But what will happen after half an hour? He will cut. But why that goat is so happy? Because it doesn't know that in the next half an hour, its head will be cut. But it is thinking that, so it is living in that present actually. Oh, I am bliss. That is ignorance is bliss.
So Prabhu,
So that should not be the condition of devotee.
So Prabhu, in that case, material knowledge is easy. In that case, when we serious, that time devotional life is very critical. But when it careless, that time devotional life is very easy.
Yeah. When you are careless, you are thinking that we are doing the nice service. Actually, so that's why when you become alert actually in your devotional life, then you should be very much careful. Like you see Guru Maharaj, they don't speak. We don't have any value of the speaking words. Simply rough and tough. Whatever we have in the tongue, pat, 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 pat. So we keep on speaking with this person, that person, what offense, this offense. We never think. The hard ke ekdam. So we'll be just exploding our words and our feelings out. And we have no command and no consciousness on our behavior, our actions, and roughly we behave. And we think that. And someone is pampering us. Yes, you are doing nice devotional service, pure devotional service. But when someone is coming into our life and started saying, hey, you are doing wrong. This is not the right life. And this is not the good. You are going in the wrong direction. This is not the standard. And this is a reality. And this is a thing should be done. Then you will be getting pain. Then we'll start to do. Or till now we are in the fantasy. That means, oh, I'm doing very nice. That's a happen actually, Prabhu. So general people, yeah, many times they don't know what is aparada, what is this aparada, what is that aparada, what is devotional science, and many things. Then what is karma mishra bhakti, what is suddha bhakti. So that's why what is good actually. Knowing is good or not knowing is good. For progressing, we should know. Otherwise, why? Who wrote this? Any outside person wrote this book? Bhakti Sandarbha is written by any outside person. Or any person who wants to torture devotees, he wrote? No, no. Our Acharya wrote. Our dearmost Acharya wrote. Means what? He wrote for welfare of his followers. So for good thing, for to have good, to see good for them. So he wrote this. So that's why any Acharya's books, our books are there, our Prabhupada's books and our other Acharya's books, those are all for our benefit. And by studying those, many people think that, oh, after studying these books, I will be more confusion and why we have to study these. Whatever I'm doing, I'm nice, I'm happy with this life. And let it be, Prabhu. I don't want these things. You are making so complex. And it's simply, it's just for my life, it's not necessary. Who decide what is necessary for your life? You cannot decide. Your guru will decide, your acharyas will decide, your elders will decide, your teachers will decide. But if you think this is for it's okay, then you'll take even more time to go back. You need more time. If you don't follow doctor's prescription, if doctor says that it's wrong, and still if you do, then who's responsible? If you have the bad health, who's responsible? That's your own responsibility. So that's why teachers, gurus, all these, they are there for uplifting us. And they are all compassionate and they are taking pain to deliver this. How much research Srila Jiva Goswami might have done to write this book? So many, this means thousands of slokas are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. And after that, completely studying and holding all the knowledge and he heard from his gurus Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis. And after that, whatever philosophy they explained and he is seeing in the Srimad Bhagavatam and compiling this book, how much pain he has taken, how much time he has invested, how much energy he has invested in that. And we are not able to study also. First of all, even if you want to study this, how much pain you need to know Sanskrit, you need to know every word and meditating and finding the meanings and getting the meaning of that. Then after the delivery, even delivering also, we take so much pain in this. Hours and hours, years and years, we struggled. So to bring out the knowledge from this, because he went into the deep meditation and he wrote. And such a subject matter, if you want to deliver, you also need to take so much pain. It's not an easy thing. And even if you want to hold it in your heart and you want to implement, you also need to do a lot of hard work. It's not an easy thing actually. And Bhakti is simple, but in this material world, because we are affected by the many things. So Vaishnava Parad, this kind of, that kind of attractions. That's why Karma Mishra Bhakti, Akaitva, Sakaitva. Why? These are all because it's practical. These are roles. Day to day they happen actually. You'll be doing the so bhakti, but you are desiring material things. That is practical. That's why. So Rajasic Bhakti is there. That need to be explained. So this devotional science, whatever is explained for us, it is not anything is differently from our day-to-day life. It's everything is belong to your day-to-day life. Everything is related to your life, and you need to so see those things in your life, and you need to apply, and you need to correct if anything is going wrong, and try to become more and more. That means advanced, and we have the taste. So that's why this is the Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. We should develop the Ruchi for this. And so that we should be so delivering ourselves, and also we can help others to deliver others. We can deliver, helping, delivering others. Okay, you want to say?
But Prabhu,
Yeah.
Our nature is always forgetfulness, na?
Yeah.
Always contaminated. So that knowledge, this knowledge help us when we face the difficulty or dangerous
Yes.
situation, because Lord Krishna gave an example in Bhagavad Gita that royal road also we happened some accident.
Yeah.
You very careful. Royal
Yes.
road also.
This Bhakti is a royal road, but there are so many dangers are there. Yeah. That's why we are not careful. Then someday you might be in the accident actually, and there is a great problem. Many times they quote the example. You see this devotee, this Sabari didn't go for any education, and that Nishada didn't go for any education. So they did pure devotional service, and they delivered. Why you are teaching these sandarbhas? Why you are teaching Bhagavatam and commentaries? This discussion, that discussion. Why Prabhu? And a simple bhakti is simple. So two Vrindavan trips, 4 fish, and some festivals finish. Why Prabhu you are just teaching so much, and you are giving pain to us, and you are making the susukam kartum avayam into dukkam. Sudukkam, you are making sudukkam. Bahudukkam. Making your our life, you are completely disturbing us. So might be actually thinking, Prabhu, maybe. So I'm really sorry for this. If I am cause for that kind of pain, so please forgive me. But this is actually only one thing. You always remember that Prabhupada also said, all the time he says, his main point is, you read my books very deeply, you read my books scrutinizedly. Now the time for the condensing the milk. We want at least one moon is enough for us, not these so many stars. And even in my life, if I am able to make one perfect devotee, that is my success. Such a statement he said several times. He said this. Why? Why he said that means even if I make one pure devotee, my life is successful. He said. You know this proper statement. This is. That means what? Becoming pure devotee is not a easy thing. Otherwise, Prabhupada could have said, I already made so many pure devotees. He didn't say like that. He said that even if I make one pure devotee, that is my success in my life. Means you should understand that we should not be in a fantasy. That means we should not be in an illusion. Oh, I'm doing the pure devotional service. And many times some leaders we hear, they're encouraging. They're encouraging. That means sometimes some small boy is there. So he is trying to sing some rhyme or some poem. Even that is not so good. And but according to his capacity, he tried his best. Definitely what we say, very nice, better, nice, very good, well done. We say, it doesn't mean that that boy should stop there itself. And whatever he is broken song, whatever he is hearing, father and other elders, they encourage. It doesn't mean that that is only the standard. He has to grow up. He has to learn the chords. That means saragama padanisa, properly musical chords, and practice it and become perfect and bring the real perfectness that is needed. To do that, he is encouraged now. So that's a sometimes our leader, our spiritual masters and our leaders, they say, yes, what is the bhakti? It's simple. It's chanting and dancing and feasting. It's so easy, they say. That's true also. And but there are a lot of intricacies are there in this. Lot of mistakes, lot of accidents can happen in the devotional path of life, in the devotional life. And you should be careful of all those. And you should know very scrutinizingly. And so Prabhupada says this means this Krishna consciousness means austerity, then he says after that. Human life is meant for doing austerity. Tapo divyam putraka. Hundreds of lectures he said like this. On another side, he says that, what is this? Says life is so simple, easy. Just come, join with us, chant and feast, dancing. Everything is very easy, so nice. But if you, on the first day, whatever instruction is given, if you stick there itself, there will be no progress. And there will be a great danger actually. You will be in the ignorance, and ignorance should not be bliss. From that ignorance, whatever you are getting bliss, that is the danger for our future actually. So that's why we should be alert, and we should study our Acharya's instructions very carefully and try to understand those and try to implement in our life and try to go further towards the progressive path. And don't take our books are very easy and simple and cheap. No, our Prabhupada books are very important, and as well as our Acharya's books also, we should give importance. And if anything additional points are there from those books, we should definitely accept that. And Prabhupada in his whatever in his period of time, given period of time, Lord, whatever time Lord gave to him to preach, in that period of time, he did complete dedicatedly his job, his service. Day and night he worked. Whole day he's started, that means managing the temples and giving the lessons, classes, preaching and organizing, managing. And whole night he is translating. Whatever he can do, he did. He did it up to the full extent he did. And he also said, my mission is 50% is defending, and so many things he said actually. And so whatever Krishna sanctioned for him, he did that job. And after that, he also asked us, so you read these scriptures, you understand those, and anything is needed further, you people carry it out, carry forward, take forward this mission. That is a faithful follower will be seeing like that. So whatever Father gave wealth to him, he will not just eat it and enjoy and finish. He will also try to add something and make it grow. That is a faithful son and a follower will do. So we are like that actually. So whatever Prabhupada gave to us, we have to take it and we try to elaborate it and expand it and try to make relevant of this present day of the society. That is our duty. So being a follower of Srila Prabhupada, so what we should do? So now the society is changing every day. Every day, at that time in the 1970s, what the society was there, that is not the now present society. At that time, there was no internet. At that time, there were no YouTube. At that time, there were no WhatsApp, this, that. And at that time, there was no this subtle disturbance in the people actually. Now problems increased and the society of life is changed. And now you should be relevant. You read the scriptures, understand deeply and try to preach that according to this present situation of the society. And you should develop that kind of intelligence in you. So where you are trying to make the relevance of the subject, any subject, you should not do any mistakes. That's why your knowledge should be pure or purified and proper. Otherwise, you instead of doing the help, you are doing the big loss actually. You'll be destroying actually society. Improper or untrained or so that kind of preacher will be creating the disturbance in the society. So that's why we should be careful with these things, and we should be very serious. We should really serious in this. And this is the opportunity we got somehow or other. So Lord selected us and he made all together, and we started discussing, and we take it very seriously and discuss and understand and make it, that means present it very relevant to the present society. Okay. So if we see in the our part, that means finally in the yesterday's class we established that Kriya Shakti and Gnana Shakti, these both are belonging to Paramatma. Neither they are belonging to gunas or not to Jivatma. And we have seen the direct Shruti Pramanas. So Shruti is the highest powerful than the logic. Logically we said this belongs to Paramatma, and also based upon the Shabda Pramana, that is Bhagavatam is the highest Pramana. So it is said. And why then Srila Bhagavatam is already saying 6:16:24, but Srila Jiva Goswami is also quoting, that means Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and Rigveda, because not to support the Bhagavat. Bhagavat is a self-illuminating personality. It doesn't need any other ones to support it. And whatever it says, that is unanimously, so should be accepted. So because he is the ultimate authority. But still, why we are quoting? Because whatever the conclusion Srila Jiva Goswami is developing here, that means Kriya Shakti and Gnana Shakti are belong to Paramatma. This concept he developed here. So to support his thought, he quoted this. Not to support the Bhagavatam, but to support his idea, he quoted these two things. This is very much you should so careful about this. In Tattva Sandrabha also we discussed this. So same thing we should understand here also. Okay. Next point is Tadevam Sati Traigunya Karya Pradhanyena Bhavantyo Te Gunamayatvenochyate Parameshwara Pradhanyena tu Swataha Gunatite Yeva Taduktam Daivamruta Panadhyaye. Now our another point is this Kriya Shakti and Gnana Shakti. Kriya Shakti and Gnana Shakti, if they are if these two are engaged to produce anything related to three gunas, related to three modes, then these are known as Trigunatmakam. Then these two are known as Trigunatmakam. That means they are in modes, we say Trigunatmakam. That means this Kriya Shakti and Gnana Shakti are utilized to produce something related to three gunas. Then these two are also known as Trigunatmakam. Example. We take an example. There is a rose flower. I give every time this example. And you pluck this rose flower from the field. That means to pluck the rose flower, what you need? Kriya Shakti you need or not? You should go there and you should pluck it from the plant and give this to a girl. That means what is that? That means you are plucking this rose flower, bringing and giving. These are all Kriya Shakti. So there is involvement of Kriya Shakti. This Kriya Shakti is involved to please the mind of a girl. So girl's mind is made up of what? Three modes. That is pleasing her is the effect actually. So what kind of pleasing she is getting? Material happiness she is getting. That means material happiness is coming out of what? Three modes. So here material happiness is the effect of this Kriya Shakti. Kriya Shakti is the cause and material happiness is the effect. Yes or no? So then in that case, this Kriya Shakti is also known as Trigunatmakam. That Kriya Shakti, that activity is known as material activity. Plucking the rose flower and offering to a girl for her pleasure. Then that activity, offering rose flower, that activity is material activity. Okay. Next, that is material activity. Next, Parameshwara pradhanyena tu. Parameshwara pradhanya swatah gunatite eva. But if you offer that rose flower to Lord, then in that case, so what is the effect of this activity? Pleasing Lord. Pleasing Lord is the effect. So Lord's happiness is the effect. So then in that case, this plucking the rose flower and offering will be known as, it is not Trigunatmakam, because the Lord is main there. Lord's pleasure is main. Is this activity connected to the Lord? So that's why this is known as, this is not Trigunatmakam. It's beyond the three modes. This. That means originally Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti belong to Paramatma, and based upon their usage, so they are related to what? That means they are engaged in what? Based upon that, they are considered as. So this is simple point we know. Actually, Prabhupada said many times in every lecture, every time we see. If the same activity, if you offer into the service of the Lord, then it is spiritual. We say now this pen is offered for the delivering the Lord's knowledge, then this marker is also spiritual actually. Yeah, microphone. Prabhupada says this microphone is spiritual. Yeah.
It's false.
Yes.
When it is used for spirituality,
Yeah.
then it is
Spiritual. Yes. So what is the proof actually? Many times we use this. Then on what basis you can say like this? Is there any Bhagavatam? Because whatever you speak, what is your ultimate pramana? This is the thought you have, but this thought is really supported by Bhagavatam or not? Which section of Bhagavatam is saying? Yes, this is supported by the Bhagavatam. This idea is correct, whatever Jiva Goswami is writing. That is from the Devamrita Pana Adhyaya. That means Mohini Devi is making Devatas to drink this Amrutam. In that section it is said. That means it is 8th canto, chapter number 9 and sloka number 29. There it is said. What is said? Yadjujjate suvasu karma mano vachobir dehatmajadishu nubistada satprutaktvat taireva sadbhavati yat kriyate prutaktvat sarvasya tadbhavati mula nishechanam yat. So can anyone read the translation?
Utilizing one's prana, wealth, actions, mind and words for maintaining one's body, sons and others is not proper, since this endeavor is separate from the Lord. Utilizing these same things for service to the Lord is proper, since this endeavor is not separate from the Lord. This is service to all beings, since it is watering the root.
Yeah. mind, senses, body, and so and so, if utilized for the service of the Lord, then they are not considered different. And if they are utilized other than the Lord, then they are considered as different. They are not different and they are different. Prutaktvat, aprutaktvat. So utilizing body, mind, sense, and intelligence for the other than the not, that means different from the Lord. If you utilize, sorry, I'm correcting back. If you utilize body, mind, intelligence, and so in such a thing which is different from Lord, then that is asat. Okay. If you utilize body, mind, sense, intelligence, and so non-different from the Lord, then those are all known as Sat. Okay. Understand? Body, mind, sense, intelligence, and so if you utilize in the service of the Lord, then they are perfect. Sat means they are real. Otherwise, they are all Asat means not real, illusory. What it means illusory means they are false. They are false. Asat means false. Seeing everything into the connection of the Lord, that is true. And if you don't see everything in the connection of the Lord, then that is a false. Next, here Prataktvam means separate from the Lord. That means not in service of the Lord. And Aprataktvam means in service of the Lord or in related to Lord, you can say. Atah yuktameva gnana kriyayaha hare bhaktehe nirgunatvam. So that's why bhakti is what? Bhakti is also comprised of gnana and kriya. In the bhakti process, you will be studying about the Krishna. You are knowing his qualities from studying Bhagavatam. This is also bhakti. What you are all doing is also bhakti. Because you are hearing Krishna and you are knowing about him. That means knowing that means your chetana, your consciousness is engaged in knowing Krishna. So this is what? This is also bhakti only. And you are offering flowers, you are serving him. That means activities, kriya shakti. That means gnana shakti and kriya shakti, if they are engaged in the things related to the Lord, not only just Lord, anything centered around the Lord, if you engage in those, then those are all so nirguna. Those nirguna. That means this total is known as bhakti. Bhakti is comprised of gnana shakti and kriya shakti. And bhakti means what? Service to the Lord. So service to the Lord. Bhakti means service to the Lord. Bhakti is also is a thing actually which is comprised of gnana shakti and kriya shakti, and bhakti means bhaj, sevayam, service to the Lord. So now doing bhakti means engaging kriya and gnana shakti in service of the Lord. So that's why this is nirguna. Bhakti is nirguna. Bhakti is nirguna. Because anytime, that means gnana shakti, kriya shakti, if you engage for the service of the Lord, then that is known as nirguna. We already established Siddhanta. Kriya shakti and gnana shakti belong to the Paramatma, and if they are engaged for the service of the Lord, then they are nirguna, you said. So engaging of kriya shakti and gnana shakti for the service of the Lord is nothing but known as bhakti. That means bhakti is nirguna. That is the point. Bhakti is nirguna, that's why. Then what about the Brahma Gnanam? Knowing about the Brahman. This is Nirguna or not? Why Satvika? Now I will catch. Now I am asking what I am asking. Brahma Gnanam is Nirguna or not? Huh? Bhagavad Gyan only is Nirguna. Brahma Gnanam is not Nirguna. Why? कौन बोलेंगे अभी? Srichand Prabhu, yes, Prabhu.
Because the process for attaining Brahmajnana is Sattvagun, that the process for attaining this in material modes to Brahmajnana.
Yes, that's the point. Brahmagnana, in the Brahmagnana case, you are not doing, that means something directly for the spiritual cause. Your main, that means Gnani's main intention is what? Gnani's main intention is they want to come out from the material misery. Coming out from material misery is their goal actually. Dukkha nivritti. If their goal is sukha prapti, then they don't need to worry about the dukkha nivritti. What is difference between devotees and the jnanis? In the case of the devotees, dukkha nivritti is not our goal. Our goal is what? So that means pleasing the Lord. Pleasing the Lord, and we get the pleasure from that. So that is the pleasing, happiness is the our goal, pleasure of the Lord. So, and even we don't worry about our own pleasure or the pain. We don't worry about our pleasure or the pain, and our only goal is how to please the Lord, pleasing the Lord. But Gnani's case is what? They want to come out from the miseries personally, and that's why it is the material cause only. And Brahman is nothing but the flip actually. It's just negation of all the material misery is equal to Brahman. Understand? So that's why that's what they do. You see in the process also. To come out from these material miseries, they are always what they are doing. They are trying to make all the objects as same. There are no difference in between the objects. They don't see any attributes, any qualities of the object, because if they see that qualities, that will cause for the attraction or the aversion. So that's why it will lead to the more and more material pain. So let me make everything as one, so that no differences, no attraction, no aversion, and so that I will be free from this material misery. And this Brahmagnana, whatever in the case of Jnanis they are getting, that Brahmagnanam is just come out from the cause for the come out from the material miseries. So, and in the case of, if you see, but if they use this Brahmagnanam for the realizing the Lord, if they see, that means they try to know Lord is personal form, is having personal form, and effulgence coming from him is the Brahma Jyoti, And that Brahma Jyoti, if they try to know this Brahman, and also if they try to connect this Brahman with the Lord, it is nothing but the effulgence emanated from the Lord. In that way, if they try to understand, then that is spiritual actually. There is nirguna then. That Brahma Gnanam is also nirguna, because they are connecting that ultimately with the Lord. But if they don't connect that, and if they simply, that means seeing the Brahman as ultimate, and which is the just a state which is free from the all the material miseries, then it is simply a material. That means in the Brahman realization, where is the point of Lord? Is there any point of Lord in that? Is there any point of Lord in that? No. It's just what? It is a state which is simply a counterpart, is the opposite of, is a negation of all the material miseries. They don't have any concept of Lord. Gnanis, they don't want to see the personal form, and they don't want to connect this Brahman with the Lord, and Lord is only the root cause, and these kind of things they don't want to see. Like you see in the case of the yogis also, they are using meditation on the Lord. That means it's a smaranam. So Vishnu smaranam, using meditation on the Lord to just, what is the goal? To just destroy the contamination in the mind, and finally they are linga deha bhanga. That is the goal. In the case of yogis also, what is their goal? So even by meditating on the Paramatma, they are getting so much bliss, and their hair is standing on the end. They are getting these tears, and so much is happening, but still they are not caring that pleasure. And finally, what they want to? They want to destroy this subtle body and be peaceful. So that's why there is no connection with the, really there is no connection with the, directly with the Lord. So that's why it is not, you cannot say that it is nirguna.
So when the Gyanis are merging into the Brahman, so that Brahman, bliss of Brahman, or that merging into the Brahman, that is Saguna or Nirguna?
Merging into
Spiritual.
Brahman. They merged, that is merged, finish. Then they became one with the Brahman. Brahman is nirguna. Brahman is nirguna, but Brahma Gnanam we are saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Richand Prabhu.
That for even getting that Brahman realization, also one needs little bhakti, no? Just by that jnana, one can't get Brahman realization also. That Naishkarmam apyachyuta bhava virajitam sadhana.
Yes. So in attaining Brahman realization, so they are using some portion of the bhakti. So some portion of the bhakti is needed. So this bhakti is there, but this is not pradhana. What is pradhana? Jnana is the pradhana. So what is majorly taken? That's why here is said in the statement also. What is pradhana? Pradhana is what? Pradhana is the how we define this. I am saying Kriya Shakti and Gnana Shakti is majorly engaged. Pradhanyena. The word pradhanya is used. So majorly it is you engaged for what? It is majorly engaged for the three modes. Then it is known as Trigunatmaka. Majorly is said. That word is there, that you should say, take. And that's why here in the Brahma Gnanam case also, major part is what? So is the coming out from the miseries. That is the major thing actually. Not the pleasing of the Lord.
Yes, bro.
That's a Gauna actually. So that's why it is Saguna.
Yes.
Okay. And bhakti is clearly we established, which is comprised of Gnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti. And bhakti is majorly meant for the, so is pleasing the Lord. That means it is centered around the Lord. So that's why the Kriya Shakti and Gnana Shakti involved in those are also is becoming Nirguna, and that bhakti is also known as Nirguna. Okay. Or rather you can say reverse way also. Kriya Shakti and Gnana Shakti, in the case of Bhakti, Kriya Shakti and Gnana Shakti are engaged directly for the pleasing of the Lord. So that's why that Kriya Shakti and Gnana Shakti are Nirguna, and the Bhakti which is comprised of these two is also is Nirguna. This is the statement, actually, final statement. But Kapila Bhagavan is saying this Bhakti is Tamasika, Rajasika, Satvika also is saying. Why he is saying like that then? What Bhakti? If you see in Kapila Dev's teachings, he is saying that bhakti means Shravanam Kirtanam there. Directly devotional service. Shravanam Kirtanam those. Shravanam and so and so. He is saying Tamasika. Shravanam Kirtan is Rajasika also is saying. Shravanam Kirtan is saying as Satvika. And Shravanam Kirtan is saying Nirguna. That means Bhakti comprised of Shravanam Kirtanam. Bhakti comprised of the Shravana Kirtanam is only the condition here. That Bhakti is only sometimes he is saying Tamasika, sometimes he is saying Rajasika, sometimes he is saying Satvika, sometimes he is saying Nirguna. That means Shravanam Kirtanam are done out of pride, enviousness, or otherwise anger. Then this Shravanam Kirtanam is Tamasika Bhakti. If Shravanam Kirtanam is done out of material hankering for gaining material things, then it is known as Rajasika. Shravanam Kirtanam is done for the liberation. Liberation means what? Mukti. Mukti means what? Mukti from the material miseries. That's why you can see word in the case of Jnanis, what they want mukti. Just I am coming to the previous point. They want relief from the material miseries. That is the goal. It's not that I want to get Brahman. That's obviously is Brahman, that state. They want mukti. Anyway, that is another point. So here, if Bhakti, Savanam Kirtanam is engaged for the liberation, then it is known as Satviki. Satviki. Then Bhakti is engaged for the pleasure of the Lord, pleasing the Lord. Then it is Nirguna. But here you see, Shravanam Kirtanam only is sometimes Tamasika Rasika is said. Why? Actually, here hearing the Krishna Katha only. Here also hearing, everywhere hearing Krishna Katha. But still it is called Tamasika Bhakti. But actually that means this is not Tamasika. This is Nirguna only. This is Nirguna only. This Shravanam Kirtan is always Nirguna only. But here Tamasika still it is said because the practitioner is in the heart, he is having the influence of the Tamoguna. Tamoguna is influencing. And also he is doing the bhakti. This Tamoguna is superimposed on this. But originally it is not, originally it is Nirguna only. Originally this Shravanam Kirtan is Nirguna only, but just it is superimposed. Not mixed, superimposed. Like you see water. Water is always in the colorless. That means it is a Sukla Bhaswara. That means it is in the Sukla Bhaswara means white phosphorus. So it looks like white phosphorus. But some muddy you mix, or red color you mix. Now you are saying red water. But by nature, water is what? By nature, it is the Sukla Bhaswara. That means white phosphorus color. It is having the white Bhaswara means potassium. Phosphorus. What? Bhaswara means potassium, na? Huh? Sulfur? Bhaswaram means in Telugu Bhaswaram, English. Bhaswaram is potassium, I think. That means sulfur. Potassium. Maybe anyway. So water is, yeah, is having the Sukla Bhaswaram color. And now you mix red color to this, then you are saying red water. This red water is redness is superimposed. It is not changing the Swarupa of the water actually. Swarupa by Swarupa of the water, like same. Same here also. Shravanam Kirtan is Nirguna only, but phosphorus. Okay. So white phosphorus color. Water color is white phosphorus. Sukla Bhaswaram. No, that is not the point actually. Whether it is Trigunatmakam or the Nirguna, we are not deciding. On water, you are mixing red color. So then you are saying the red water. Here, what is the point is, here bhakti is not becoming in the ignorance. That means based upon the Kapil Dev's teaching, what is intention? Based upon the Kapil Dev's teachings, you should not say bhakti is not nirguna, it is tamasika. Bhakti is nirguna only, but still tamasika is said that just by superimposing the state of the practitioner's heart, by superimposing the state of the practitioner's heart, it is called as tamasika bhakti. But bhakti is nirguna only. Bhakti is not becoming the saguna. Tamasika bhakti means now here bhakti is not becoming the saguna. That's the point. That means he is pleasing the Lord. This person, even this person out of anger, whoever is doing, or they out of envy, he is also doing Sravana Kirtanam. By that, Lord is pleasing. But what he is gaining? Revenge or some destruction of opposite people. So he is he's pleasing, but for this. But since pleasing activity is there, Shravanam Kirtan will please the Lord. So this activity is there. So this is Nirguna only. But still it is called by the Kapila Bhagavan as Tamasika because of this person's mental setup. And that is imposed on this. But originally bhakti is Nirguna. Okay, next sloka 135. So like this, in the previous anuccheda you can write actually question. We can make a question on this. Establish bhakti is nirguna. This is the question actually. I want to ask this question. Establish bhakti is nirguna. Okay. So to say that you should explain these things. And that means first you should establish Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti are belonging to Paramatma. And those, if they are engaged into the Lord's service, then they are Nirguna. If they are not engaged in the service of Lord, then they are known as Saguna. And this is the thing. Then after that, you should also give the quotation for that. Then after that, you should say that. So Brahmagnanam is not Nirguna because there the intention is what? Coming out from the material miseries. Mukti, liberation. That means freeness. You want to be free from the material miseries. So that is the goal. That is nothing but the material thing. So that's why Brahmagnanam is also Saguna. But Kapila Bhagavan is calling bhakti is Tamasikam Nirguna. But actually, their bhakti is not becoming the Saguna. That means is not produced by the modes. By Swarupa, that is Nirguna only, but still Kapila Bhagavan is calling it as the Tamasikam. The reason is, so he is imposing the mental state of the practitioner on that. Yeah. Yes, Sri Chand Prabhu.
So if the person is doing bhakti for some material gain or or for some other reason, then that Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti of that person is not is used for some material purpose. It's not for pleasing the Lord. Correct only. So so we told microphone example, if the some object is used for pleasing Lord, then that also becomes spiritual.
Yeah. Good.
Similarly here, if this he is using bhakti for not for pleasing Lord, but for something else. So
Yes.
that means he is
Yes.
yeah, he is not that is not, but still the bhakti is bhakti is spiritual, but he is not in the process which he is doing this not sense nirguna.
Yes. Your question is very valid. So yeah, what is our definition? You are going to the definition, roots of the definition. So here this person is engaging the bhakti shravanam kirtanam for the destruction of others or to take revenge on others. So ultimately he is desiring some pain to some person. This pain is material. So then in that case, this Kriya Shakti, whatever is involved in the Shravanam and Kirtanam, that should be also called as Saguna. This is a point, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, but here, what is happening? Here he is desiring the pain of the someone else, definitely, but he is not using Kriya Shakti directly for that. If he use directly for that, then definitely we can say it is Saguna. But he is using that for pleasing the Lord. He is using that for the pleasing the Lord, and from that he is expecting. So Lord should do some arrangement so that he should get suffering, opposite person. So that's why it is. So it is said by Swarupa, it is Nirguna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu, that is it. Okay. So next, till now we have studied. That means in the last anuccheda, if you see, Gnana Shakti. What we proved in the last anuccheda? Devotion is Nirguna we proved, Bhakti is Nirguna we proved, and also association of the devotee is also Nirguna we proved. Yes, how we proved that you all know. We took the example, that means demigods, in the heart of the demigods, naturally they are in Sattva-guna, their heart is in Sattva-guna. So that is not producing any bhakti. That heart in that bhakti, in that heart, you are not seeing the bhakti naturally. That means without. Then every demigod should be devotee in that case, but it is not. So that it means, so Sattva-guna is not producing any devotion, and also that means every devotee, every demigod should be having devotion, means they should always incline to please the Lord. So that is not there in everyone. And second is Rajo and Tamo gunas, they are not stopping also this bhakti, because Vritrasura is having heart, such a heart, he wants to please the Lord. That means there is a bhakti in that heart. So that means, so Sattva, Rajas and Tamas cannot stop. So that's why, so we are ultimately seeing the case. That means in the Vritrasura case, we took the Vritrasura case and we established. So that is only due to, so his association with the Narada Muni. And that's why this association is leading to, is producing the bhakti. So that's why it should be, if it is Saguna, how it can produce the, because already we violated, all three gunas are not cause. So that means this association is also Nirguna, that we established. Okay. And also we established devotees also Nirguna. And devotion, devotees association, and also we saw directly Bhagavatam sloka. So Bhagavad Gnanam is also Nirguna. Yes. Where is that? What is that sloka? Bhagavad Gnanam is Nirguna. Manishta Gnanam is Nirguna, he said. You remember that? Kaivalyam satvikam gnanam rajo vaikalpikam tu yat prakrutam tamasam gnanam manishtam nirgunam smritam. He said, and finally, so that's why Bhagavad Gnanam is Nirguna, we proved there. Now we are going to see, that means Bhagavad Gnanam, Kriya, Gnana Shakti is Nirguna. Bhagavad Gnanam is Nirguna, we proved, but Kriya is Nirguna, that we have to prove now. Anyway, Bhakti we said, but we are going to go in detail actually now. In detail, and we want to say that what Kriya Rupayaha. So Bhakti in the form of Gnana. Bhakti comprised of Gnana is Nirguna, that is okay. Also Kriya, Bhakti comprised of Kriya Shakti is also Nirguna, we are going to prove. Okay, this is the goal. Okay, our goal. Give me the 10 minutes, 5 minutes extra will go. We can finish this. What we are going to prove? Bhakti comprised of Kriya Shakti is Nirguna. That is the goal. Okay. What is the sloka is here given? Vanantu satviko vaso gramyo rajasa uchyate tamasam dyota sadanam manniketam tu nirgunam. Here it is said in this sloka, living in the forest is satvikam. Okay, second. So living in the village is rajasam. Living in कुछ बोलते नहीं, द्योता sadanam, that means in the Dyota Sadanam means, you know, this clubs, club and pub, that's Jua Kelte Jaha, wherever they play the gambling game and so and so, drinking. Dyota Sadanam, clubs is Tamasikam. Living in temple is Nirguna. So from this you are clearly understanding that, yeah, living in the forest is Satvikam. Why living in the forest is Satvikam? Vanam Vasaha. Vanam Vasaha means Vanam is Vasaha. Is Satvikam. Why you are saying? Why Vanavasa, living in forest is Satvikam? Like you see, Grutam Ayuhu. You say Grutam Ayuhu. That means, so ghee is life. Ghee is life, you say. Why? Because ghee is having such a qualities, it increases the lifespan. Okay? That's why you say ghee is life. But actually ghee is life? Ghee is not life. Life means what? Whatever we lead, that is life actually. We're meeting with people and doing activities, this is life. This is not ghee. But still we say ghee is life because ghee is having such a qualities, so it increases the lifespan. Similarly here, Vanam Vasaha. Why we say Vanam is Vasaha? Because here Vasaha means what? So living. That means, so activities. That means by in the forest, what kind of activities you do? Doing the meditation and also thinking on absolute truth and so on, so you do. Austerity and so on, so you do. So these are the living here in Vanavasa. Living means what? Meditation, thinking on the absolute truth, austerity and so on, so. This is nothing but living actually, Vasaha. So here Vanam Vasaha we are saying. That means here Vanam is having such a qualities. Vanam is forest is having such a qualities which is conducive to these things. अरे समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं? Grutam Ayuhu we said. Why we saying ghee is life? And Vanam we are saying Vasaha. Why? Vanam is having the same apply. Why you are all so thick? So Vanam is having the such a qualities. It will help to tapas and so on. So that's a, and these are all what satvikam. Yes or no? Doing austerity, meditation, and thinking. These are all pious activities. Yes. That means getting practice in the renunciation, meditation, renunciation, austerity, and so on. So that means meditation means fixing mind. For these all activities, these are all sattvic activities. For that, vanam is conducive. That's why vanavasa is what? Sattvikam. Huh? Vanam means here vasaha means you should not take staying alone. Staying alone is not the sattvic activity. Simply because staying alone means he is staying with what? He is staying with the trees. Alone means he is staying with the trees, where trees are in the rajas and tamas. So staying with rajas and tamas is not really completely sattvikam. So that's why here vanavasa means staying alone you should not take. So vasaha means these activities you should take, and those are sattvikam, and vanam is conducive for that. So that's why vanavasaha is sattvikam. Anyway, you forget this. I know you will all get confusion. Live simply this thing, and simply vanavasaha is sattvikam, and village life is rajasikam. So living in the clubs is tamasikam. Living in the temple is sattvikam. That's why you living in the temple is sattvikam. That's why kriya rupa bhakti is sorry, living in temple is nirgunam. So that's why kriya rupa bhakti, living is kriya. So he is the nirgunam. Okay, done. Go to the next anuccheda. Okay. Very thoroughly, yes, no problem. Tomorrow, next. So 136. Evam vasamatrasya tadrushatvam uktva sarvasameva tattva kriyanamaha. So here in this previous anuccheda we said living is nirgunam, we said, and not only living, even all activities are related to the Lord are nirguna. That is said in this anuccheda. Okay. So see, sattvikah karako sangi ragando rajasasmritaha tamasaha smriti vibhrashto nirguno madapashrayah. So atacha kriyayam tatparyam na tadashraye dravye sattvikaraka sariradi. Can anyone read the translation of this?
A performer of action who is free of attachment is in sattva. A performer of action overcome by sense objects is in rajas, and a performer of action who is devoid of inquiry is in tamas. But a performer of action who has taken shelter of me alone is beyond the gunas.
Anyone performing by taking shelter of the Lord is in the nirguna. So that means all activities by taking shelter of the Lord, if you do any activities, those are all nirguna. Okay, na? Next anuccheda 137. तदेवं क्रियामात्रस्य तादृशत्वं उक्त्वा तत्प्राप्ति हेतु भूतायाः श्रद्धाः अपि. So now, so bhakti comprised of the kriyas. That means any activities related to the Lord, or by taking shelter in the Lord, and if you do any activities, those are all nirguna is said. And that means that's why. So bhakti comprised of kriya shakti and gnana shakti is definitely nirguna. And to get that bhakti, what we need? We need shraddha. Tadevam kriya matra sadrishnatva tat prapti hetu bhutayaha. That means if you want to do actions for the Lord, you need to have what? If you want to do actions for the Lord, you need to have what? Shraddha. Yes? Even that shraddha is also now is said as nirguna. So सात्विक्याध्यात्मिकी श्रद्धा कर्म श्रद्धा तु राजसी तामस्य धर्मे या श्रद्धा मत्सेवनम तु निर्गुणा. Read the translation.
Faith in Atma is in Sattva. Faith in prescribed karma is in Rajas. Faith in irreligious activities is in Tamas. But faith in my devotional service is beyond the gunas.
Yes, faith in devotional service activity. Faith in devotional activities is nirguna. Okay, next anuccheda 138. Ataha dharmam bhagavatam shuddham taividyam cha gunashrayam iti. So dharmam bhagavatam shuddham traividyam gunashrayam. Suddham nirgunam traividyam vedatraya pratipadyam gunashrayam iti tikacha. Veda shabdena atra karma kandameva uchyate. So that means read the translation of this sloka.
Ajamila heard about the pure nirguna dharma approved by the Lord from the servants of Vishnu, and the impure dharma recommended in the three Vedas from the servants of Yama.
Yeah, Bhagavad dharma. That means, so Bhagavad dharma is what? Is nirguna or saguna? Is suddham trai. So it is a suddham. That means it's nirguna. Okay. Next 139. Atayeva bhaktehe Sri Bhagavat Sarupa Saktitva Bodhakam Swayam Prakashatvam Aha. So that's why bhakti is, so bhakti is completely Bhagavad Dharma, Shraddha cause for that bhakti, and Bhagavad Gnanam and association of the devotees all are nirguna. So since they are nirguna, what is the thing? Since they are all nirguna, so they are all Swayam Prakashak. They are not dependent on any other things. Atayeva, that's why bhaktehe Bhagavad Swarupa Saktitva Bodhakam. So this bhakti is nirguna, we understood. That's why it is indicating what? Swarupa Sakti. That means it is indicating Swarupa Sakti means it should be the function of the Swarupa Sakti. It is not because of the Maya Shakti, or it is not Jiva. It is belong to the Jiva, but it is belong to the definitely to the Swarupa Sakti, Lord's internal potency. So this bhakti is indicating the Swarupa Saktitvam. Swarupa Saktitvam. That means this internalness. It is indicating, this bhakti is indicating the internalness. That's why bhakti is internal. Bhakti is internal. That means it is internal potency. And also Swayam Prakashan. It is said, you see the sloka, then you'll understand. Yagnaya dharma pataye vidinai punaya yogaya sankhya sirase prakriti shwaraya narayanaya haraye nama ityudaram hasyan mrugatvam samudajahara. Read the translation.
I offer respects to the personification of sacrifice, the master of dharma, who is skillful in the rules for sacrifice, to the personification of yoga, to the head of Sankhya, to the lord of Prakriti, to Narayana, to Hari. Wanting to give up his dear body, he chanted loudly this prayer.
So 5:14, yeah. Yagnaya dharmapatiye vidhinai punaya yogaya sankhya sirase prakrutishwaraya narayanaya haraye namah ityudaram hasyan mrugatvam apiyah samudahara. That means in that dear body when he is living. So at that time he is paying obeisance to the Lord and he left that body. Yes, there is a connection. So yaha arshabheyo bharataha marana samaye tatrapi mrugasharire tad vachana janmatyanta asambhava saprakashattvameva tasyaha kirtana lakshana bhakti siddhyati. So you see, in the case of Bharata Maharaj, so he did bhakti in the Bharata body, human body. He did bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, and so Archana he did in the Bharata body. And so those are all stored with him. That is spiritual. That means his subtle body is spiritualized to some extent because of this Shravanam Kirtanam. And now, but because of remembering so much at the time of death, deer, so then he became deer. This is deer. Okay. Then in the deer body, so he is living at the time of deer body. So what is happening? He is able to remember Krishna and he is paying obeisances to the Lord, and he left this body. Why? It is because of the, so that he is able to do because of what? Because of this bhakti which is accompanied with him. That is the cause actually. That is so illuminating him to do, that is inspiring him to do obeisances irrespective of this body. This, yeah, that's why sometimes you'll be seeing some animals are there coming and sitting and hearing the class. Why? Bhakti is Swayam Prakashaka. Bhakti is self-illuminating. So bhakti is not dependent on the any bodily conditions, any consciousness. So due to chitta of this body, that means he is completely is independent. That's why that's a simple point actually. In the Bharata body, so he did bhakti, Shravanam Kirtanam, and that is bhakti. That bhakti is causing even in this body also to pay obeisances to the Lord. So that's why bhakti is self-illuminating. Swayam Prakashakat. Bhakti is always accompanied actually with the Jivatma. It gives the spirituality, it spiritualizes the things. That bhakti is illuminating. That's why here what is said, Tasyaha Marana Samaye Tatrapi Mrugasharire Tad Vachana Janma Atyanta Asambhavat. So in the deer body, it didn't hear, that means it didn't hear or it didn't chant anything. It cannot speak. And it cannot speak also. Even in the deer body, it cannot speak. But here what? Yagnaya Dharmapataye Vidinaipunaya Yogaya Sankhya Sirasi Prakriti Shiraya Narayana Haraye Namaha Iti Udaram. That means in the deer body, Bharata Maharaj, when he is living from that deer body, he is saying these sentences. What sentences? Yagnaya Dharmapataye Vidinaipunaya Yogaya Sankhya Shirase Prakriti Shiraya Narayanaya Haraye Namaha. He is saying this statement and he left. But deer, how it can speak? So then this word is coming from where? So bhakti is illuminating and that is producing this through this tongue. That means deer is speaking. Okay. So that kind of, so from this what? We should understand that Kirtan Lakshana Bhakti Tasyaha Swaprakashatvam. We are all speaking. Whoever is not doing any bhakti, he is also speaking. In this case, that means he is speaking and also he is understanding. That is due to what? That is the Mana Buddhi Ahankara which is there in him. Those are illuminating. Those are illuminating. But in the case of the Bharata Maharaj in the deer body, so there this bhakti is doing. Bhakti is doing that. Yes, Ramcharan Prabhu.
So Prabhu, this verse that you mentioned is that he like it's mentioned that Bharat Maharaj spoke while he was in the deer body.
Yeah.
So like then like how is the difference between Gajendra, because like when Gajendra did, like he got liberation, but like Bharat Maharaj did not get liberation, and he actually got another body as a Brahmana, and then he again further on. So how do you understand that?
There to increase his devotion intensity. To increase the devotional intensity. intensity of his devotion. So one more life he took. Lord gave that arrangement. Like in the case of Ajamil also, he is about to leave. And Ajamil also at that time Vishnudutas came, but they gave even further time because to increase the intensity of the love. Yeah, not due to karma. That body is given. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, thank you.
Okay, bro. So okay, we'll on anuccheda that anyway we cannot finish today. So okay, tomorrow Monday onwards we'll start. Okay, thank you very much. From 1:40 onwards we'll try to give material. Once again we'll try some days because I have now some free time. I will try to give. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.